If you like this video, subscribe to my channel, but let's get right to it. Robert Pattinson appears to be tapped to be the new Batman in Matt Reeves' new film, The Batman. Now, I thought Armie Hammer was going to be the guy. I had my money on him, but looks like they're going in a completely different direction. Now, I just finished working on a movie called Uncle Frank that'll come out next year, directed by Alan Ball, who won the Academy Award for American Beauty. It stars Paul Bettany, Sophia Lillis, who was in the movie It, Steven Zahn, which there's a picture of me and Steven on set, and Judy Greer, and the cast goes on and on and on and on. But my point to telling you about that film was one of the producers was working on Second Unit, and I got to really talk with one of the producers all day long on the show, and he had just finished making a movie called Lighthouse, which stars Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe, and it's all about two guys in a lighthouse. They filmed in Nova Scotia. He was telling me how they built a 70-foot lighthouse, everything, all the adjacent buildings that go to it. I mean, all of it. It was like a real working lighthouse, and it's all about these two guys. The movie was shot in 35mm black and white, and it just premiered at the Cannes Film Festival. And when we had wrapped out last week, he was flying to Cannes. And well, anyway, while we were on set, we had talked all day about this movie, The Lighthouse. Well, I see Variety is saying that Robert Pattinson is going to play Batman, and it talked all about him. And then in the article, it talked about the movie The Lighthouse, which he was in Cannes promoting. So I show it to him, and I said, okay, hey, look, that's your movie. I said, look, he just got the role as Batman. And he was like, what? So anyway, he started sending texts and things like that. But make a long story short, I asked him, I said, look, I said, you just finished doing this movie, The Lighthouse, with Robert Pattinson. I said, what do you think about him playing Batman? And of course he was like, Rob's going to be great. And, you know, he called him Rob. I guess everyone calls him Rob, who is not, everyone calls him Robert, who's not in the business. And if you know him or you're close to him, I guess you call him Rob. So he said, no, Rob's going to do a great job. And I said, now I don't really know Robert Pattinson too much other than the Harry Potter and the Twilight and stuff like that. And, you know, I didn't really follow the Twilight movies that closely. I think I saw them in passing, but, you know, like I was an 80s guy, born in 75. So my vampire movies were like Fright Night and Lost Boys, and then later on Interview with a Vampire, and then in the 90s, you know, Bram Stoker's Dracula with Gary Oldman. So like I had a different kind of vampire genre, and I'm not going to knock the new generation that had the emo kind of, it's their generation. That was their movies. I'm not going to be that guy. So I get it. And I was like, but he looked real skinny to me in those movies. And the producer I was talking to, he said, no, they'll I'm sure he'll bulk up and he'll get ripped, and it'll be fine. But you know, damn good actor. He's going to really take this role and run with it. So that gave me confidence, because like it's all easy for us on the outside who just watch movies and come down on films. Oh, they cast this person. I mean, look, they said the same thing when Michael Keaton was cast as Batman. Oh, Mr. Mom, Beetlejuice, what? They're gonna kill this. It's gonna be terrible. And then so on and so on. And so they do that with a lot of these different things. And you know, the knee-jerk reaction was, oh, Twilight, sparkly Batman, but it's when you work in the movie industry and you work on films with crew members and you can actually talk to them and they tell you, look, I've worked with this guy's professionally, comes in, he knows his shit, he's going to take this thing, and you know, that I respect those opinions than sometimes fanboys online that just, you know, want to hate. So I'm excited. You know, I really thought Armie Hammer had the thing in the bag, but I guess that he probably may not have even been considered. Who knows? I'm stoked about it. And then some leaks came out that maybe Penguin and Catwoman were going to be the villains. I wasn't too thrilled about Penguin and Catwoman because I've never thought Penguin was a strong villain, an arch nemesis, as you will. You know, when you look at Burgess Meredith in the '60s doing Batman, and then the webbed thing that Tim Burton did was a little hit and miss for me. I love Danny DeVito though in that part. So I don't know. I just don't know if I'm feeling Penguin. I would have rather seen a really serious, dramatic take with the Riddler, because if the script is going to be very film noir and it's going to show him actually be a detective and solve crimes, I would think the Riddler would be a bigger challenge, because he could put out these riddles that he would have to solve and so on. But it looks like that might be the direction they're going in. And then, are they going to tie this into a multiverse, you know, with Todd Phillips's version of the Joker? I'm hearing some weird stuff about the script that Thomas Wayne, who's Bruce Wayne's father, had a fling with a maid, and there's a bastard child that he, didn't want around, and he told the maid to go away, and that's the Joker, which is Joaquin Phoenix's character, and then Thomas Wayne goes on to have Bruce Wayne, and he gets brought up in privilege where the other one's not. And the idea that the Joker and Batman are brothers is just really weird to me, and it just doesn't feel right. So if they are going to try to intertwine all these storylines, I hope, look, Batman and Superman are marquee characters for Warner Brothers and DC, and they just can't seem to get it right. So, but I loved Planet of the Apes. I like what Matt Reeves did there. I'm hoping, with Robert Pattinson, that this is going to be a really good take. I hope that they get him a mask, much like a cowl, much like Christian Bale, so he can move his head, more like the Arkham games and stuff. Like, I don't want a Batman that's having a turn and has the thick rubber and can't really... I'm done with those versions of Batman. Let's get a guy in a really good tactical suit, just like The Dark Knight Rises, and let him have free movement of his head. Let him do that. Why not? I know I'm jumping around a little bit, but I feel like I'm trying to do 3 videos in one. One, talk about Joaquin Phoenix being playing the Joker as the brother, and one, with the Penguin and that thing coming out about what the plot is, and then, of course, Robert Pattinson. So it's kind of a hodgepodge video, but I think it's important to cover a lot of these things. They're all happening in real time, one after another, and I don't want to do separate videos on all of them. So what do you guys think? Do you like the idea of Robert Pattinson? I've been reading a lot online and seeing people's takes, either for or against. I don't know. I'm feeling confident because of talking to an insider that knows him personally, thinks he's going to really knock this one out of the park. Joaquin Phoenix, Joker is Bruce Wayne's brother. I don't know. And then the Penguin, I guess that's because they did the separate Joaquin Phoenix Joker one, and then they got to tie it all in if they are going to make it a multiverse kind of thing, or where they're all intertwined, one cinematic universe, and they try to go back in that direction. I don't know. It all feels like it's getting muddied. I'm worried that, once again, there's no Kevin Feige at the helm for DC. They don't have anyone like him that can just really guide the ship, and they're back to letting independent directors do their own thing. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let's talk about it in the comments section, and I'll see you on the next video.